You think those campers are on BLM?
Oh, sure. You might be right on the edge of it, but I don't see how you would have got back in here. That might be some type of road there they're off of, but I'm guessing, right, so you see there's a white fence marker there. That's that sign. So my guess is it goes up that way. So it's gotta be, it's probably right around where that camp is, maybe.
Okay. So we were looking for some BLM land, and we came across this fence right here, which doesn't have any signage on it, but it is BLM. We know it is from our Onyx, which could be a good thing because it could deter other hunters.
Look, there's not one of those trespassing signs there. These people got their shit marked good.
So this is supposedly where? That's their corner of their property, and it's starting here. It's
lines
all
up exactly with
BLM.
My guess is there's another marker down over there where that road kind of goes, but even that road's.
Let's find an opening. I say we jump it. Staring right at us.
There's a big pole to the left, too.
Are you serious? Right on that ridge.
Far left. Right about the same height as her. Looking at her, it's coming right through there. And he's in the trees. He's broadside and it's kind of. Big nose antlers.
So we move one at a time to try and get some covers. One of the cows was looking directly at us. So I moved into this cover here. They're completely on the other side of the ridge. And I think we're gonna wait and see if they come down because there's a watering hole right below me. Either that or one of us is gonna make a stalk and see if we can flank them. Right now it looks like they're just bedding down. Alright. Cameron's headed this way. We're gonna make a plan on what we want to do. You think they bedded down?
They're walking. They were walking.
Oh shit.
They're walking and they're going this way.
Deeper into that private land by two other hunters that we saw earlier. They were just below us and we didn't see them, but it was really cool seeing, I think it was 9 that we saw dart out of there in one bull. So we're heading back the same way we came. And we're going to try and see if they got bumped onto some more BLM land. Maybe. We'll see. But that's our plan.
Tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
I could drink like 9 of these.
Alright, morning 2. We're up on a ridge, we're glassing these game trails. Hopefully the other hunters that we met in the parking lot are going to push all these elk towards us. So we'll see if we can just sit tight. Hopefully something comes out. Alright, day 3. Day 2 was a bust. We got set up in a valley, and then a winter storm rolled through and got about 5 inches of snow. During the day, we couldn't see 50 yards in front of us. So we chose to back out of there and do some exploring around this unit. And we did find a really good spot right here, and chose to come back this morning. We ended up seeing 5 elk. Cows roll through after we heard probably like 4 gunshots. Must have pushed them this way. It's funny, I went to go range them, and as soon as I pulled my rangefinder out, the battery popped out into the snow, so I was fumbling around trying to get that. And I guessed probably 300 yards away, but they rolled over this ridge here into private land before I could even get my rifle up. Luckily I didn't take a shot because it ended up being 400 yards, so I probably would have missed or hit it in the wrong spot. But I'm back on this spot tonight, hoping that more elk are going to do the same. I doubt those other ones are going to come back through off private land, but we'll see. Alright, I'm back at the hotel. Day 3 was a bust. I thought I had a pretty good spot on this valley, well, up on this ridge that butted up against private land. It was a nice little chunk of BLM behind this ridge that you couldn't see from the road. So I saw it this morning. I saw a ton of elk sign, and I thought, all right, well, I'll come back tonight and set up right on this ridge so I can see that BLM that's right against private, and I can also see all of the state land that is visible from the road. So maybe I can catch some elk moving up and over into that private land like I saw this morning. What I didn't think about was the amount of public land hunters that would be out there this afternoon. When I was walking in to the spot I wanted to set up on, I was about halfway in and I could already see an orange vest right where I was headed. So I kind of had to change up my plan. I had another guy follow me in. He could clearly see I was there, but he chose to just come and cut right through that valley I was scoping on the roadside and went behind me. I don't know how far behind me he went, but I don't think it was very far. I think he was just sitting right behind me. And about 30 minutes before sunset, 2 other hunters came through that same area. It kind of blew the left side for me, so it really just, all I had to fall back on was that BLM land next to private, and it looked kind of promising because I was sitting there for about an hour and I could hear all these cow calls. And I was like, man, I didn't know if that was that hunter behind me. So I look over on this private ranch, and I was looking, and you could see all these little specks in the forest. So I busted out my binoculars, and probably about 900 yards from me on this slope, there was over 50 elk just sitting there without a care in the world because they were on private land. And yeah, I got to watch that. I mean, it was really cool to see them, but very discouraging to be that close and not be able to actually do anything about it. So I think tomorrow I'm going to plan on sitting on the same spot. Maybe the other hunters that were there got discouraged and they want to try a new spot. But I think I'm just going to stay there because that's the most sign I've seen, the most fresh tracks. I know there's elk in the area, and I know other elk are moving into that area. So maybe if I could sit on that spot first thing in the morning and just stay there all day, maybe an opportunity will present itself. But for now, I'm going to try and get some sleep. This is the part of the video that I was really hoping I'd get a chance to film. I just dropped an elk. Oh. I had the same plan this morning, or as yesterday morning, where I saw those elk cross the private fence line. I set up well before first light, legal shooting, and I sat up there, so I positioned right on where they crossed yesterday. And probably 30 minutes went by after legal shooting, light, and I didn't see or hear anything. And I was feeling pretty down until I heard an elk bugle, which at this time of year was kind of strange. But then I heard a few cow calls on the backside of this ridge. So I chose to leave my position and try and sneak over the backside of the ridge to see what was going on. I did see a few cow elk in the private land already. I thought maybe it was, elk already in private. But just as I crossed over the backside of that ridge, I saw 3 elk run down, and they must have heard me coming. And I tried to cow call and stop them. And, in the panic, I had my tripod set up so I can rest on it. So I was setting up and I cow calling, and they stopped. And I lined up on them, and I hesitated because I wasn't sure if they were on private. I hadn't been on the backside of this ridge yet. And sure enough, I looked around, and they were already on that private. The fence line was right behind them. So I'm really glad I didn't pull the trigger. But I was kind of bummed I missed out on those. But then I heard 2 other elk come down. I set up and I readjusted real quick, and they were moving pretty quick. So I made a quick cow call, and they stopped. But unfortunately, they stopped right behind a bush. I could see its head peeking out. So it sat there for, it seemed like 5 minutes. And I must have saw me or something, because it charged and hopped that fence faster than I could get a shot off. So damn, that's, 2 opportunities missed. So I snuck down further on the ridge so I can look up in case there were more coming over that ridge. And I waited for probably another 5 minutes, and then 2 others came down, and I called immediately as I saw them cross that ridge, and it stopped, perfect broadside shot, and I smoked it. It dropped instantly, rolled a little bit, and then died within seconds. So it was a super clean kill. I'm so grateful for that. It was a 160-yard shot. Last day, I checked out of my hotel this morning. I feel like this. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I just bought a freezer, so that would have been a bummer to go home empty-handed. Anyways, I'm gonna go quarter this thing out and load up the cooler. There she is. Well, that is it. I packed her out in 3 trips. It's 3 o'clock right now, and now I get to drive home. That's about a 4-hour drive. But I got to punch my tag, and I can't explain how good that feels. I thought for sure this morning when I set up on my original spot and didn't see anything, or even anything on the private land, I thought it was done. I was fully prepared to go home and eat that tag, but nope. Man, it wasn't even that hard packing out that meat. I mean, it sucked, but it's totally worth it. It's exciting. I had a smile on my face the whole time. It was hard quartering it out on the side of a mountain and packing it out, but looking back, totally worth it. So, I have a feeling I'm going to do this again next year. This elk hunting thing's pretty fun. So now I get to go process this meat and eat elk steaks and burgers and all that good stuff. So, all right, it's been fun. I'm out of here.